Good afternoon, everyone. This is a video that I've thought about doing for a long time, but this past week has really resonated with me as something I need to do instead of just something I want to do. So the question in my title is, do you feel safe at home? If you have ever been part of a military family and had the privilege of being part of a military network of doctors, this is a question you are asked every time you go in for an appointment. Every time you go in for your kids' appointments, you're asked, do you feel safe at home? Some of the appointments, they even give you like a little questionnaire that has just different questions about your home life, if you feel safe, if anything is out of the ordinary, things like that. Just being very proactive because they recognize what the service member brings home with them from different things, and they want to be sure the family is safe as well. So that's kind of where this question comes from. Now, there are all different types of post-traumatic stress. I'm not going to spend time on each of those. This is going to be kind of a blanket overview. Now, in our household, our experience is with combat-related PTSD, and so that's what our experience is. We are safe at home, so I don't want anybody to think we're not. That's not where this video is coming from. This is coming from a place of, I have observed people who are facing other types of PTSD that may or may not really feel safe in their own home or in their own skin, for that matter. And I just want them to all know there is hope and there is help available. So the very first thing, I'm going to bore you with some definitions, but then I'm going to skip right over that. If you want more information, you can just let me know, and I'll be happy to send you this really good article that I found on the types of PTSD and the symptoms and all of that. But the definition from the Mayo Clinic is that PTSD is a mental health condition triggered by a terrifying event. I liked that word, terrifying event, because a lot of people think it's just about a soldier who's been in a war zone, or it's just about people who've experienced these horrible events like mass shootings or different things like that. And the fact is, it can be about a lot of different things. It can be a car accident, it can be abuse, it can be a natural disaster, it can be a sudden one-time assault, it can be something you witnessed, not something you necessarily experienced firsthand. It could be something that someone you love experienced, and you have the side effects of, not side effects isn't the right word, but by association, you're going through it with them. Some of the more serious symptoms include flashbacks, nightmares, extreme anxiety, uncontrollable thoughts about the events. This is different from the short-term symptoms that come as you adjust to life after some kind of big event. PTSD starts where normal coping mechanisms fail, and you can no longer just get through the day. PTSD symptoms impair your daily functioning to the point they are interfering with daily life. It means you cannot control the anxiety to the point that it's interfering with relationships, it's interfering with your daily tasks, and you need more help. That can be, there can be a delayed onset. There can also be like episodic, not onset, but episodic events following the trauma. So there's lots of different things that fit into the definition of PTSD. Like I said, if you want more of that kind of information, I'm happy to send you a link. Just shoot me a message or send me a comment, and I will, either way, I'll be happy to get that to you. Another, a more general definition that I found that I really liked is it's feeling stuck in a constant sense of danger and painful memories with a disconnectedness. And like I said before, it's where those coping skills have run out, no longer cope. I think it is important for all of us to recognize the signs of PTSD, maybe not just in ourselves, but in other ones. Physical pain can be a symptom of PTSD. And again, I've mentioned the nightmares, flashbacks, depression, anxiety, withdrawal, and avoidance. So if somebody is typically social and all of a sudden they pull away from that, or maybe they're less social but they pull away more, those are things to look for. Another thing is an increased hyperarousal. That means jumpiness. An example in our home that we work with a lot is at times when my husband is super stressed, he is more jumpy. He responds in a very startled manner just to somebody coming up behind him. So we have talked with the kids about not doing that, and then the people who know him well, and then other kids that we're around a lot. We've talked with them about it just to increase safety and awareness among all those people. There's an increased risk for engaging in substance abuse and other risky behaviors. There's increased irritability, and then there is guilt. Sometimes it's known as survivor's guilt. Sometimes it's just some other kind of false guilt, but it's there, and it can be very hard on the person with PTSD. But where I really wanted to talk the most today was, how do you support your loved one who's going through this? And what I found this really great article. I shared it with a friend of mine because this article, it also, some of it can apply to somebody who's going through grief. The same kind of things. It's an article that is what the person with PTSD wants their loved ones to know, and that is I got some of this from, and then I had several other resources as well. But before I go to that, I'm going to tell you like a little summary of some of the things that I found out in my research. So as you support your loved one, the very first thing is don't forget to take care of yourself. You can't help anybody if you yourself are depleted. When I was asking my husband, what could I do to help? He says, don't feel helpless. Take care of yourself. Do what you need to do. Check on your own feelings of guilt and continue with life as normally as possible. So don't stop living in supporting your loved one. Figure out the way you balance it. PTSD is a real illness, so learn as much as you can about it, but learn from reliable sources. So all of these things that I looked at, I look at a lot of things that are from the Mayo Clinic, the VA, different volunteer organizations that have support groups, and this is all they do, is they are in a helping profession, and this is all they do all day. So learn from reliable resources. Number 2, coping skills are not just for the person who's suffering with PTSD. They are also for the family. They are for the loved ones, because our loved one has changed, and we have to be able to deal differently. We have to learn to communicate differently. Things that worked for us before, they might be stretched and tested just a little bit. And so we want to constantly be developing new things, new ways to deal with tough situations. In communication, use clear and concise words and phrases. Listen more than you talk. That's really hard for me because I want to just keep talking because no one else is filling in, so I'm just going to keep going. But listen more than you talk when your loved one is talking about what's going on. And as far as it depends on you, keep a calm and positive atmosphere. Now, with kids, that's not always easy. With different aspects of our homeschool life, it's not always easy. But as much as it depends on me, I can try to have everything calm and relaxed and positive when my husband is home. And then don't offer advice unless you're asked. So this is one of those things that also goes with grief, by the way. All those things, the communication things. Number 4, seek outside help. Sometimes your support system needs support. So sometimes the support system needs support. So, you know, I am blessed with a very great group of friends who do support me. I'm blessed with an amazing church family who can hold me up whenever things are tough, and they just love on us. They don't ask a lot of intrusive questions, but they, you know, we know that they're there for us when we need them. And I hope that you have that too if this is something that you're struggling with in your home. If you're not feeling safe at home and you need somebody to reach out to, if you're not feeling safe in your own skin and you need somebody to reach out to, don't hesitate to reach out to me. If I can't help you, I'll be able to connect you with somebody who has the resources to do so. And if you want that article, like I said, shoot me a message. I am happy to share all the information that I have learned. Love you all. Bye.